by police said that he wasn't dating your daughter and was not the father of her unborn child, why do you believe he would say something like that?
Because he probably didn't want to get caught up in what he had already done. He know he had done his work, so now he's trying to throw it off on somebody else. That's what I believe. Because if it wasn't his child, why did he do what he did? My thought.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we discussed the case of missing Rochelle Stubblefield. The 20-year-old college student was 8 months pregnant when she disappeared in November 2015. This month, more than 8 years later, a Kentucky man is facing conviction for this heartbreaking murder. Although this is some relief for the family, Rochelle's body still has never been recovered. Rochelle Stubblefield was studying criminal justice and had law enforcement aspirations. She was described by friends and family as smart, caring, and inspiring. Rochelle was extremely motivated in school and very social amongst her peers.
Rochelle was a happy person. She loved to see everyone happy. She never wanted to see nobody sad. She oh my goodness, Rochelle. She was the fun, outgoing. She was the one that keeps the party going. And Rochelle was very outstanding, outgoing. She helped everybody from people who needed work. Assisting in school. If they needed help in anything, like the elderly, she would go to their house and help them with the insulins and all this type of stuff, things that nobody would ever believe that Rochelle would do. She would go out her way and do it for you. She would take her shirt off and give it to you if it's needed. Yes.
Thelma came and put that baby in my arms as a child. I didn't have kids at that time. That was my baby. Like she said, kind-hearted, where she would go out of her way to do anything for anybody, and
very lovable, life of the party, enjoyable, and she had so many things that she wanted to do. She actually slept outside in a box in the cold to every year to make awareness of the homelessness, people that live outside in the cold. And her heart was just full of love for everything and everybody.
She had a goal to accomplish by helping other people that looked exactly like her. Rochelle loved everything about the justice system and fighting for others.
She wanted to be a CSI investigator, seeing that, different things was always happening, because we used to watch the shows on TV, and she decided that's what she wanted to do. So that's what was her goal. She wanted to become a private investigator. The CSI investigator.
The 20-year-old student also found love and became romantically involved with her then boyfriend, Derron Fuller. Derron was someone she knew for a very long time. Her mother said they started to become friends in grade school.
Okay, well, I knew him ever since they went to Pulaski in junior high school, and he was an evil boy. He was, and I used to tell Rochelle, leave this boy alone. Something's wrong with him. And she was like, "No, Mom, he's good. I can change him. He's gonna be fine." And he wasn't. He was just a terrible person. You can't get no clearer than that. He was like a little demon, and I can't get it no clearer. I'm sorry.
Would you say that he was possibly controlling, or maybe had anger issues?
Yeah, he was. He did have anger issues, because I remember one time Rochelle came home from school when she was in the 9th grade, and she came home with a purple bruise on her arm. And I asked her, I said, "Why? What happened to you?" She said, "Oh, Mama, we was playing frog, and he hit me too hard." I said, "Well, who hit you?" And he said, "Derron," because I guess they were popping each other. I said, "Look, that ain't no game. He's abusing you." And she was like, "Oh, no, Mom, we were just playing." And then as time goes on, and that's what he did. And it just shows proofs in the pudding. What was he about? Yeah. He was abusive.
According to reports, Derron was last stationed in Fort Knox and he was enlisted as a soldier in the U.S. Army. Reports didn't go into details about the ins and outs of their relationship, but eventually, Rochelle became pregnant. It was just recently exposed by his cousin. He didn't want to have a child due to his fear of paying child support. And even though Rochelle and Derron were expecting a baby boy who was already named, being that she was 8 months pregnant before she disappeared. No one seen any signs early on that her continuing her pregnancy would lead to a tragedy. But unfortunately, according to the Times of Northwest Indiana, Rochelle was last seen leaving her college basketball game. She reportedly texted her mom that evening telling her that she'll be late because she was meeting Derron. That was the last time anyone spoke to Rochelle or saw her alive.
Rochelle Stubblefield. The Maryville Police Department advised us that they had an active missing persons case for Miss Rochelle Stubblefield. At the time she went missing, she was 8 months pregnant. Her due date was December 15th, 2015. We have searched several locations in an attempt to locate Miss Stubblefield and baby Stubblefield with no success. Rochelle was a full-time student at Calumet College of St. Joseph and also a member of their track team. Rochelle attended classes on November 10th, 2015, and was last seen by her friends attending the girls' basketball game. We have spoken to several individuals during the course of our investigation who were cooperating initially, but are no longer cooperating with our investigation. At this time, we are reaching out to the public, asking for any assistance in locating Rochelle and baby Stubblefield and bring her home to her family. If anyone is familiar with any of these individuals that may possibly have information about this case or may know the whereabouts of Miss Rochelle Stubblefield and baby Stubblefield, we urge you to contact the Lake County Metro Homicide Unit at 219-755-3855 or the anonymous tip line at 866-CRIME-GP. That's 866-274-6347.
On November 10, 2015, Rochelle texted her mother she was going to meet up with Derron and was never heard from again. 2 days later, her family reported her missing on November 12, 2015. On November 20th, 2015, the Gary Police Department and Lake County Homicide came a part of Rochelle's case. Police later found her car abandoned in Gary. Then, nearby, police found her broken glasses and shoes.
During that day, she texted me and said, "Mom," I'm gonna say his name, "Derron wanna meet me to talk about the baby situation." I didn't get that text until later because I was doing something else and I never got a chance to read it until later. And that's the last I heard from it. That was it. That was it.
Yeah, that day she was leaving school and she was supposed to meet with him. And that was the last that was seen or heard of her.
Because the following day I went to the school and I went to all the teachers and they said that basically that she volunteered and was helping people sell candy at the restaurants, the stores. She was going like she was visiting everyone and selling things for them, helping everybody out. And they said that was the last that they seen of her. I was like, wow, and I don't know what happened after that. And that was it. Nobody knows what happened. But they end up finding her vehicle, like right off of Martin Luther King at that fire station off of like 15th, over there, like Marshalltown, right off Martin Luther. That's where her car was found.
A big break in the case came 10 days after Rochelle's disappearance when police received a tip from two of Derron's cousins. They told investigators that Derron admitted to choking and stabbing a woman in the temple who was 8 months pregnant with his child. The cousin also said he buried her body at an elementary school in Gary. Derron's alleged motive was the pregnancy, as he reportedly told his cousin he did not want to pay child support. Rochelle was estimated to deliver on December 15th, a little over a month before she went missing. After speaking with Derron's cousins, police wanted to question Derron himself. They finally located him on November 23, 2015, in the company of another girlfriend. Derron told investigators that he knew Rochelle, but they were not dating and he was not the father of her child. He claimed that he was unaware of Rochelle's whereabouts.
When confronted by police, said that he wasn't dating your daughter and was not the father of her unborn child. Why do you believe he would say something like that?
Because he probably didn't want to get caught up in what he had already done. You know, he had done his work. So now he's trying to throw it off on somebody else. That's what I believe. Because if it wasn't his child, why did he do what he did? My thought.
It was Mr. Fuller's own cousins. Is that correct? Who tipped the police off?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know them or anything like that, but that's what I heard.
Although he denied knowing Rochelle's location, detectives still had their suspicions. They just felt something was off, so they continued to look. Numerous searches were conducted in Gary, including at the elementary school where his cousin said Rochelle had been buried. Unfortunately, the searches did not yield any results, and Rochelle's case went cold for more than 5 years. Finally, in summer 2019, investigators spoke with the other woman Derron was dating during November 2015. The woman said she picked up Derron at Williams Elementary School in Gary on the day of Rochelle's disappearance. After they drove away, Derron began throwing Rochelle's personal items out the window. That was the same location where investigators found Rochelle's glasses and shoes many years before. The former girlfriend explained that Derron later told her that he choked Rochelle to death. This information was huge in finally being able to charge him. In July 2020, Derron was arrested and charged with the murder of both Rochelle and her unborn child. When police traveled to Kentucky's Fort Knox, reports claim as soon as they arrested him, he passed out. He then faced 2 counts of murder in connection with the death of Rochelle and her unborn child. He also faced a count of obstruction of justice. At his first hearing, a judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Nonetheless, he was held without bond and he retained representation. The trial began in this case in March 2023. Prosecutors argued that Derron was the only person with motive to murder her because he didn't want to father her child. 2 witnesses, including his cousin and former girlfriend, took the stand saying he admitted to the murder. However, Derron's defense attorney, Scott King, attempted to get his charges dismissed based on what he said was insufficient evidence. While both sides argued, the trial came to a wrap in April. On April 7, 2023, a jury found the now 28-year-old Kentucky man guilty. Jurors spent a little over 2 hours deliberating before they returned with the guilty verdict. Since then, family members of Rochelle had spoken publicly about justice being served in this case. Despite the numerous searches, Rochelle's remains still has not been found. The dog sensed human remains, but investigators still did not find anything they could dig. If you have any information that could help lead to her whereabouts, please contact your local authorities.
With someone trying to share where another place he may have taken your daughter?
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Like they just said, basically, it looked like they probably found out. He probably found out that they were looking for, and he dug up. I'm just assuming this is what went down. That he dug the body up and moved it someplace else. I guess it was too much traffic where he had her. I'm not sure, so I don't know.
I have a plea from the family. If you are out there and you have any information regarding our baby, Rochelle Stubblefield, please, please, please find it in your heart and soul to come forward and let us know so that we can put her and her unborn baby to rest. We just want closure. We don't want that. We just want to find her. We just want to know where she is. We want closure.
So just find it in your heart. Let God go ahead and guide you, and go ahead and tell. It's been 7 years. Go ahead and tell somebody. Speak up and tell somebody.
She's just, it's a missing piece in our family. Not only are we missing her, but we're missing that baby that she was carrying that we never even got to experienced, right, her being a new mother and experiencing life. She was in school for criminal justice. So she would definitely want us to continue her case no matter what until she's